They did it. They actually did it. The PAK is rolling out of Russian hangars, and somewhere in the Pentagon, a few generals just spilled their coffee. This isn't Moscow dusting off another Cold War relic. It's a stealth bomber built for the age of hypersonics. Think B-2 Spirit with a Russian accent, steroids in the engines, and a payload bay big enough to make the B-21 Raider check its retirement plan. We're talking over 30 tons of pain, nukes, bunker busters, hypersonic glide vehicles, all designed to slip past radars and ruin someone's day halfway across the planet. For years, the B-2 Spirit was king of the skies, untouchable and untamed. But while Congress argued about budgets and Germany debated environmental impact, Russia just went ahead and dropped a brand new stealth monster on the chessboard. The balance just shifted, and for the first time since the Cold War, the West might be the one scrambling to catch up. Welcome to Military Power. Today we're breaking down the PAK, how it flies, what it carries, what it costs, and why the US Air Force is suddenly paying a lot more attention. Picture this. You're in a NATO command bunker, coffee going cold, radar screen steady. Then a flicker, a glitch, static, no alarms, no big blips, and then impact. Too late to react? Too late to stop it. That's the mission profile of Russia's new stealth bomber, the PAK. This is not a remake of the Cold War II 160 White Swan. Moscow didn't just slap a stealth coating on a relic. The PAK is a clean sheet design, a flying wing built specifically for the new age of radar denial and hypersonic warfare. Where Western bombers like the B-2 Spirit and the upcoming B-21 Raider are symbols of budget debates and delays, Russia has quietly put something into production that could force the West to play catch-up. So what makes the PAK different? For starters, range. We're talking about a bomber designed to fly at least 12,000 kilometers. That means a single launch from Engels Air Base in Russia could theoretically reach Chicago, Washington, or London without ever being tracked. It doesn't need supersonic dash like the Tu-160. Instead, its design philosophy is endurance plus invisibility. Stay quiet, stay hidden, and let the payload do the talking. And what a payload! Inside the PAK's bays, analysts expect space for more than 30 tons of weapons. The standard loadout will likely include KH-101 and KH-102 cruise missiles. The KH-101 is already a proven system, with a range of up to 5,500 kilometers, GPS and terrain-following guidance, and a reported cost of about $13 million per missile. Its nuclear-tipped sibling, the KH-102, carries strategic deterrence to an entirely different level. Both can be launched from standoff range, well outside enemy air defenses. But the future of the PAK is hypersonic. Russia has already shown the Kinzhal, an air-launched ballistic missile capable of hitting Mach 10, roughly 12,000 kilometers per hour, with ranges up to 2,000 kilometers. The Tsirkon, another hypersonic cruise missile, promises Mach 8 speeds with nuclear or conventional warheads. These aren't just fast, they are maneuverable in flight, designed to defeat interceptor missiles by sheer unpredictability. From a stealth platform, hypersonics change the game, a strike package that is invisible until the warheads are practically overhead. Now the price tag. Estimates suggest each PAK will cost around $160 million. For Russia, that is eye-watering money. But compare it to America's stealth arsenal. The B-2 Spirit cost more than $700 million apiece in the 1990s, and the new B-21 Raider is projected at about $750 million per copy once production scales. On those terms, Moscow's bomber looks like a bargain. That cost advantage means Russia could potentially build more of them than the US ever fielded B-2s, just 21 in total. But don't think of the PAK as a lone wolf. It's the spearhead of a full-strike ecosystem. Su-57 Felon stealth fighters, at roughly $40 to $45 million each, would escort and sanitize contested skies. These jets, while fewer in number than American F-35s, bring internal weapons bays, advanced radars, and low observable profiles suitable for first-day-of-war missions. MiG-31 Foxhounds, even though they're Cold War machines, still bring unique capabilities. Mach 2.8 speed, ceilings above 20,000 meters, and R-37M missiles that can kill targets 300 kilometers away. A modernized MiG-31BM costs about $30 million, cheap enough for Russia to keep them active as long-range interceptors and AWACS hunters. Electronic warfare adds another layer. Russia's Il-22PP Porubshchik aircraft, combined with ground-based systems like Krasuka-4, are designed to jam AWACS, satellite links, and even GPS-guided munitions. A Krasuka-4 costs roughly $50 million and can generate radar confusion over hundreds of kilometers. And then there's the maritime piece. Submarines and corvettes armed with Caliber cruise missiles, each priced at about $1 to $1.5 million, provide saturation fire. These low-flying, terrain-hugging missiles would be used in mass salvos, overwhelming NATO's layered defenses. When defenders face dozens of $1 million missiles against interceptors that cost $2 to $3 million each, the math gets ugly fast. Finally, Russia's integrated air defenses lock the homeland down. The S-400 Triumph system, with a price tag of roughly $500 million per battery, can engage targets up to 400 kilometers away. Its successor, the S-500 Prometheus, pushes interception ranges towards 600 kilometers, with anti-ballistic missile capability included. These shield not only Russia's skies, but also the forward bases where the PAK would launch. The strategic picture is clear. The PAK is not just a bomber. It's the centerpiece of a warfighting system that combines stealth, hypersonics, electronic warfare, and layered defenses into one package. The bomber is the ghost, the invisible blade that appears where it isn't supposed to, delivers its strike, and vanishes into the dark. For NATO, the concern isn't just what the PAK can do alone, it's what it represents. Russia restoring strategic parity in the bomber game, a $160 million aircraft that can deliver nuclear or hypersonic strikes across oceans, threatens to erode the U.S. monopoly on stealth strategic aviation. The mission statement is chilling in its simplicity. Enter unseen, strike hard, vanish. By the time defenders notice the anomaly on their radars, the missiles will already be flying, and the PAK, it'll be gone, leaving only shadows behind. This bomber wasn't born from victory parades or national pride. It was born from humiliation. In 1991, during the Gulf War, U.S. stealth aircraft like the F-117 slipped through Iraqi defenses and destroyed command centers while Soviet-built radars stood blind. In 1999, over Kosovo, B-2 Spirits crossed the skies of Europe and struck at will, while Russian-made SAMs that once terrified NATO barely scratched the surface. Moscow took notes. Its bomber fleet looked powerful on paper, but in practice, it was a museum of vulnerabilities. The Tu-160 White Swan could sprint at Mach 2, but its huge radar cross-section meant Western AWACS could track it from hundreds of kilometers away. The Tu-95 Bear was iconic, with intercontinental range, but it was loud, slow, and hopelessly exposed in modern contested airspace. The Tu-22 M3 Backfire had teeth in regional fights, but lacked the reach and stealth to act as a global deterrent. Russia realized speed and payload alone weren't enough. To regain credibility, it needed stealth, the one field where the West had pulled so far ahead. And so the question emerged in the Kremlin and inside Tupolev's design halls. What if we erased their advantage? What if we built something they couldn't see, couldn't track, and couldn't intercept? By the late 2000s, that idea hardened into a program. The PAK was launched with an audacious goal: replace the entire Cold War-era bomber fleet with a single platform built around survivability, flexibility, and global reach. Tupolev, builder of Russia's past bomber giants, was tasked to reinvent the future. Then, silence. The program slipped behind closed doors, slowed by sanctions, budgets, and technological isolation. But work continued, quietly and relentlessly. Now the first prototype is reportedly under construction. A first flight may come by the late 2020s, with entry into service penciled in for the early 2030s if deadlines hold. The design? A subsonic flying wing optimized for stealth. No vertical fins, no sharp angles, just smooth blended surfaces engineered to scatter radar. Advanced composites with radar-absorbing structures, twisted intakes to hide engines, exhausts designed to mask infrared signatures. Every feature points to one obsession: survivability. And like the B-2 Spirit and the upcoming B-21 Raider, the PAK-Da's flying wing shape will rely on advanced fly-by-wire systems, constantly correcting and trimming to keep a huge, unstable shape airborne while maintaining its stealth edge. The aircraft itself is the message. It tells Washington, NATO, and every radar operator staring at a screen, we're coming. You may not see us, and when you finally do, the mission will already be complete. The PAK isn't just designed to hide, it's designed to hit hard. With an expected payload topping 30 tons, its internal bays will carry nuclear-tipped cruise missiles, precision-guided bombs, and in the future, hypersonic weapons like the Kinzhal and Tsirkon. Its job is simple: strike high-value targets from thousands of kilometers away and vanish before defenses can react. Strategic deterrence will be its primary role, but the platform is meant to be versatile. Long-range raids, precision strikes, electronic warfare coordination, all are on the table. Unlike the Tu-160, which relied on brute speed, the PAK trades Mach 2 dashes for stealth, range, and survivability. Cruising just below the speed of sound, it's projected to cover over 12,000 kilometers without refueling, enough to hold any continent at risk. With tankers, endurance could stretch beyond 24 hours. The crew will be just 2 pilots, seated in a glass cockpit with digital controls managing navigation, targeting, and electronic warfare. Avionics are expected to link with satellites, fighters, submarines, and air defenses, making the PAK not just a bomber, but a flying command node inside Russia's networked battlefield. For decades, the B-2 was unmatched, the undisputed king of the night sky. Now the board is changing. China pushes forward with the H-20. The United States readies the B-21 Raider. And Russia? It's building a stealth bomber of its own, a shadow engineered for global reach. The PAK still faces steep odds: sanctions, isolation, and the immense difficulty of stealth design. But if it succeeds, the balance shifts. A bomber armed with hypersonics, optimized for invisibility, and priced for broader deployment. This isn't an upgrade, it's a reset. The B-21 leads the race today, but the East is closing in. The PAK is more than a bomber. It's a signal, a warning. When it takes flight, the skies won't belong to just one flag anymore. Hit like, subscribe, and stay frosty. YouTube doesn't hand out air superiority without a fight. See you next time.